Good morning. Welcome to the Bwbch Boat Club Hour. I'm just sitting here looking at Jake, and he shaved, so it's a little different.
It was
But
an accident.
good morning. Welcome to the Bwbch Boat Club Hour. My name is Adam Botana, along with my great co-host.
Jake the Millennial. Good morning.
Good morning, Jake. How we doing, buddy?
Man,
Yeah,
these past
yeah.
few weeks has it been tough. We've missed a couple shows. We had a hurricane blaze through. There's been a lot.
It's been a ton. It's been a ton of stuff, folks. Sorry we haven't been on here the last couple of weeks. We got a great show. We've got a special guest. From Mississippi. We'll get into that, how we got him on here. But he's the ag commissioner from the state of Mississippi. He's our counterpart to Wilton Simpson. He's going to be on a little bit here. We've had a tremendous couple weeks with weather and just business and everything going on. It was a lot. We had a hurricane roll through, which wasn't supposed to be that big of a deal. We got prepared at Baywater. We pulled a few boats out. Our staff did a great job. We got everything situated, cleaned up, ready to go. We're expecting it to go by. It did go by. So that morning we had a nice high tide. Not too bad. In the morning it's like, oh, this ain't bad. Sent the guys home. We should be good. I went back to my house, and the water was a little high. Not bad, Jake. But I lived right on the inside of Bonita Beach, so kind of like behind docks. So I'm on a canal in the back there. So I'm looking at the beach from the back of my house, and the water started getting like sandy color. That's never a
Yeah.
good sign. This was right around 5 o'clock, and I was like, "Huh, that's interesting." And I've seen people starting to slow down on the beach as they're driving, and the waves started breaking over the beach, and I was like, "Oh, that's different. That's not good." Took a peek down outside. I seen the water was under the dock was over. The water was over my dock already, and it was coming up pretty quick because that tide had come up and it didn't go down. It did go down a little bit, but it was still up. It had got below the dock and it turned around. But like Zach Malak was saying, the Wink crew does a great job at Wink News there, and they do a good job. And he said the tide was going to be up, and it came back up. So hopped in a truck. My neighbor called me. He's like, "Hey, I'm moving my truck over to your marina. That's fine. The water's coming up." And I was like, "Okay, well, let me go. Let me go check it out. Let me go see what's going on." So we're back over to the marina. So it's just Larry and I there. We're watching the tide come up. So we start moving some boats around because this water was coming up aggressively, like aggressively, Jake. Like it was over the dock, then over the seawall, and then moving, up the yard.
How
Like,
long do you
whoa!
think it took, like time wise?
So that was six. That was at 6 o'clock that evening, and high tide was at 1 a.m. So we were starting to worry, like, okay, this is not going to be good.
Yeah.
So we rearranged the boats as best we could, driving them in the wind. We had a section of the floating dock that we were concerned that if the water did come up that high, you had all that pressure on that dock, and it might have floated over some pilings. So we had to move some boats around. Larry and I were over there moving boats, two fat guys. It's a lot of fun. we got it done. We got it done. We moved some stuff around, repositioned stuff, and then we start seeing the water come up and come up. So now it's like 9 o'clock. So that's 3 hours start coming up across the yard, and you kind of keep watching points. Like, okay, well, we have a sign that says, please wait for the dockmaster before boarding boats. Thanks, Omar. Okay, so first Omar was covered, then thanks was covered, and
Sorry,
then
Bella
boats
crawling
were
up
covered.
here.
Oh, no worries. The boats were covered, and it just kept coming up. So we kept watching it. We've seen our floating dock was still okay. Boats were all doing good. Rental docks were fine. So we got in the office. I said, you know what? Let's start picking up some stuff off the floor. So we start moving some papers around and just elevating stuff. Keep elevating, put it up a little higher. Our books, our server, just in case. But it was probably 10, 11 o'clock, and that water was up. Like it kept coming and kept coming. It inched up into our office, right into our porch on the office. And you know what's crazy, Jake, is my grandparents that lived in this property some from the late 70s. Never did they have water come inside the house. Never, except for Ian, obviously. And then all of a sudden, this sucker is up in the house. So we got like some water coming in, and it was just, you could just see it rolling across the floor. You're like, Jesus, not again. I don't want to deal with this. It's not good. So my brother was out there. My dad was out there. We're just watching and walking around the parking lot. Larry's walking around there. His place had some water in it. Water through the whole parking lot. And then about, peak was at 1:30. And we're like, okay, man, this is, we're going to have to do some trim work. Should be good. But about 12 o'clock, it just, like, I took my general manager home, Julie. Took her because she was out there helping us. Julie, Jake. Yeah, I think you met her. But
Yes,
she's
sir.
out there walking around with a dock pole just in case he's got to beat some kind of fish off or something. I don't know. But anyways, so I take her back and I stop at 7-Eleven to pick up some coffee for my dad and I, and a Coke for my brother, and some Oreos for my dad. And Larry got him an energy drink or something. But then I came back and the water started moving down like quick. Like at 12:30 it started, 12 o'clock it started dropping. And I'm like, oh, thank you. It came up and it went back down. So it started going back down. So we were out there. Dad went home, brother went home, Larry went to bed. I stood out there at about 3 a.m. just watching the boats make sure they go back into their slots because they were floating over the pilings, so everything was tied up pretty good, but we had to kind of get them back. Luckily we're protected by that bridge, so the wind is not bad and stuff was out of the south, so it wasn't horrible. So I went to bed about 3 o'clock in the morning. So I drove home at 3 in the morning, and my washer and dryer are gone again. Jake, this is like the second washer I've bought.
We lost our washer too, so.
The second washer I've bought in the last year and a half. Because after Ian, I bought one, and now again, I've lost 3 trash cans. This is the third trash can I've lost. So, you never buy a trash can for that. They just float away.
Yeah.
But it's unfortunate, so we were out there the next day, that was Friday. So we said, we're going to close Saturday and Sunday, get everything buttoned up, cleaned up. We got everything cleaned up. Boats were cleaned up. We should open Monday. We opened back up Sunday. We got great staff, did a good job, opened back up, and we're open for business. But downstairs, my house, it's not livable down there. It's not a livable area. So I just got like a washer and dryer, some cement board walls, so you just hose it out when you're done. You don't have to no insulation or anything like that. So that was pretty good. But yeah, so gonna have to go buy another washer, man. This is I'm definitely putting it upstairs this time. I'm done with this. I'm not dealing with it no more. It's over. But I understand you had a little water in your place. Was
Yes,
Bella
sir.
freaking out or what?
No, she was actually pretty content. She was a little nervous, I could tell, because she was in and out of the windows a lot, and she's not been doing that as of much lately. But with it, she's seen all that water, she was a little concerned. Plus the frogs, man. Them damn things was so loud all night. Could not sleep from the frogs. So she was happy and excited about that. But, yeah, we got about, I don't know, I'd say about 10 inches in the side room. Lost the washing machine. It survived Ian. And so I have no idea as to why it couldn't handle a puddle compared to Ian. For us, at least. I know other people may have actually even gotten more water than they got from Ian. But no, dude, we had that room cleaned out in 2.5 hours. The next day, we went in there and I took a leaf blower. Pro tip for anybody. Leaf blower is a godsend whenever you have to clean out some mucky mud and stuff like that, because we got all the big debris and stuff out in one go, and then we did another go with the squeegee and water with the hose, and then we did 2 more runs of just straight bleach, and so got it all taken care of.
No, I mean, hey, the thing is when after Ian, they said the best thing to use was peroxide, like that. It's not like not the peroxide you put on your cuts, but it's like a 12% peroxide.
12%.
And it's the best
okay.
for getting rid of any kind of mold. Because downstairs after Ian, it was like it went over my cement board. It whenever, and I went in there with bleach. Bleached it. And you could see it. And then like 2 weeks later, a week later, all that mold was back. And I'm like, what the heck? I used that 12% peroxide, took care of everything, got rid of it all. It just killed everything that was on there. and it's exposed wood. That mold just sits on there. That salt sits in there. All the and that water's just mucky in the back and stuff like that. It's just a lot of debris. I was talking to some friends up in Tampa, some representatives up there. A lot of water. We had a couple guys go up and help out. I would be up there, but unfortunately, we gotta make money. Family business. That's why I'm in Mississippi right now. It's that time of year. It's state fair season, so carnival business is going full strong. So I'm actually talking from Mississippi. A couple of days ago, I was invited to have a discussion, like a forum, in front of a bunch of legislators here in Mississippi and local elected officials. We had about 150 people, maybe 180 people, and it was the ag commissioner. It was supposed to be the Speaker of the House for Mississippi, but he had a conflict, so they got the ag commissioner. We had a little, back and forth with what the differences are between the state of Florida and the state of Mississippi, and that's how we were able to get the commissioner of ag, Andy Gipson, on here today. So it'll be interesting. We talked a little bit about how our budgets are different. State of Florida, we have a $114 billion budget. State of Mississippi is about $7.5 to $8 billion. So it's a little bit different. A lot of stuff on there. So we're excited to have him on. We're going to probably talk about politics, what's going on in Mississippi, what's it's doing, and what kind of boats he likes to drive, because it is the boat show to begin with. So, but it should be interesting, Jake. So, but everything else going good in your world, man? I know you've had a busy couple weeks with everything going on, and what's going on Wink?
Oh man, let me tell you what. It's it's been guest host galore for now until we get somebody in there permanently. I'm still begging them to let me do a show, but I think they're more or less concerned of my employment after the fact on if they'd be able to keep me. I did get to spout off at the horn a good bit Friday. We had Ed Ryan filling in. That was fun. Craig Collins filled in a little earlier in the week. It was somebody I had never met before, but he's got a very similar situation that I do. He started out producing, and then he became a fill-in host, and this technically would be his first hosting job if he gets it. But next week we got Michael Pelka on. Everybody loves Mike. But we do have your guest. Your guest is here, and he is ready. So.
Oh, he is ready. All right, yeah, let's load him up. Let's see here. Mr. Gipson, are you there, Commissioner?
Good morning. How y'all doing today?
Pretty good.
Oh, great.
Commissioner. Good to see you. Good to see you, sir. Love the hat as always.
Well,
looking good.
His
thank
motto.
you.
So.
It's great to be here. I'm actually headed to the state fair, and I'm just looking forward to another great day, Adam. I hope to see you there today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So no, we had some people stop by from Grip and Grin and pick up some cinnamon rolls. I seen the kickoff yesterday. You did a great job with that, sir. And I was just touching on a little bit before you came on what we do, how our discussion about Mississippi and the state of Florida, how we are the same and similar in a lot of ways. So
that's right. I think our policies are very similar. I'm a big admirer of your governor, Ron DeSantis, and the Florida conservative policies overall, and we have that as well in Mississippi. And I'm, one example of that, as we talked about, we kept the state fair open back during the COVID pandemic. We had a policy that if people wanted to come, they could come and social distance and stay out. It was an outdoor event anyway. And we had it, and it was a great success. And it was about half the size of our normal state fair, but we've been building it back ever since then, and I think this year is going to be a record. I really do.
no, absolutely, Andy. We love coming here, sir. My family's been coming here for over 40 years. We love Jackson. We love the state of Mississippi, and the people love us. So that's why we still come back. But I do have to talk, Andy. We didn't talk about at the event. There was, it's actually helped my hospitals down in Southwest Florida. After Hurricane Ian rolled through, we lost water pressure because there were so many broken pipes. There were so many issues. And I remember when you started building that well at the state fair because you wanted to get on your own water because the water supply is such an issue here in Jackson. I mean, the state does great. The city's got a lot of issues. And I was like, why is this guy building this well here, this tap? And obviously I didn't know what was going on. but it was a huge help during the water crisis that you had here. I mean, I know you were helping out people with water because the water's so bad. And even I talked to my Lee Health is a hospital system in Lee County, and I told him, in Mississippi, the commissioner, he dug wells, and they're actually doing that now down in Florida, because if they lose water, they have to evacuate all the residents and all the people out of the hospitals, because the fire suppression system can't work.
Right.
And that's a huge problem. So we're actually doing that. So good idea on that, sir. So
Well, I tell you the background on that. We at the Department of Agriculture in Mississippi, we are over a lot of different issues, a lot of different events, and we actually host the Dixie National Rodeo, which is the livestock show and rodeo, the largest one east of the Mississippi River. Adam, we have that in February. Well, when the Jackson water before the Jackson water crisis was known to be a crisis, as bad as it was, a big cold front came through and froze all the pipes, and I think every pipe in Jackson, Mississippi froze and busted, and we were in the middle of that rodeo. We had folks here from 40 different states, cows, goats, sheep, hogs, and no water, plus 10,000 people in the Mississippi Coliseum, and no way to even flush the toilets. I mean, that was a crisis if I've ever seen one. And so I made the decision that day. I said, we're gonna drill our own well, and we're gonna not be at the mercy of this municipality that seems to not be able to keep water running. Well, in the long run, it worked out well, because it took us 11 months, and our engineers told us they found an underground aquifer that'll last for generations and generations, and we won't run out of water. And in 11 months, we turned the water on, and the very next summer, that's when the water crisis hit for Jackson all across the city. And so we were able to supply water for people throughout the city of Jackson to be able to have what they needed to survive. And actually, the fairgrounds where we're having the state fair became the staging area for the emergency response that the governor called. So it worked out well. And you know what? We've not missed a single event for lack of water, because we've got our own water system. And, in times like that, you just got to do what you got to do and get the job done and keep going. If you make up your mind, you're gonna keep going, you can find a way to do that.
absolutely, sir. It's great to see. I know, like our governor, the strike is now put on pause, but like even our governor said, hey, we're going to put our National Guard, our Florida Guard in the ports to keep us open. And
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, the thing is, it's not a fight over money. It's a fight over automation. And I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, we're driving cars. We're not on horse and buggy anymore. We got to move on, so.
That's right. I read what he put out about that, and I commend him. And it wasn't a little bit later the strike ended. I don't know if he used to get all the credit for that or not, but I got a feeling there's some high level politics involved, with the presidential election going on as well. But I'm glad to see the strike ended, and I want to give a shout out to our port workers here in Mississippi. The Port of Gulfport technically was part of that labor union, the workers there. But you know what? Even when the strike happened, the Port of Gulfport workers showed up to get the job done, and they kept working. So I commend our port workers in Gulfport, Mississippi, who kept working throughout that strike. And that's the kind of tenacity we need and we want in this country. So thank y'all.
Absolutely, absolutely, Andy. We're getting ready for the fair here. I mean, we opened yesterday. We got 10 more, 11 more days here, roughly. What is your big thing? I know you guys do the free biscuits, which is always a big hit. Everybody loves the biscuits at the state fair. We love
That's
the
right.
rides and everything like that. But
Well,
what big things are you bringing this year, sir?
well, we always focus on our livestock show. As a matter of fact, I'm hauling a load of lambs right now to the state fair for our daughters that are showing lambs at the livestock show. And that's the backbone and the heartbeat of the state fair, the livestock show, 4-H and FFA kids. These kids are hardworking. They are the bright spot at the fair in terms of the young people who get up and show up to work. And when you go up to those livestock barns, you see them, and they're getting up at 5:30 in the morning to get the job done. This is the future of America. These kids, farm kids,
Mm-hmm.
know that if they don't do the job, nobody else is. And so we do that. And then we also, I told them yesterday on TV that the Mississippi State Fair is the only place on planet Earth that you can get a fresh, hot, homemade buttermilk biscuit absolutely free at the biscuit booth. We can only do it thanks to our sponsors of Kroger and Prairie Farms provides the buttermilk, and also Blackburn syrup goes in the middle of each of those fresh hot biscuits. So that our workers volunteered to do that, and we gave 100,000 biscuits away last year. We'll probably exceed that this year if I had to guess. So we're
Awesome.
mighty grateful for all the support of the fair. North American Midway, Danny Houston and his team do a great job. We're proud to be partners with them, and I would say that we've also combined. I told you about the Dixie National Rodeo, the largest rodeo east of the Mississippi River. We brought a taste of the Dixie National Rodeo to the state fair this year. So every weekday at 7 p.m., fairgoers can watch a short version of different rodeo competitions that they would get to enjoy at the rodeo in February. So we're bringing agriculture back to the state fair. That's where it began 165 years ago, and that's where it's going to continue to be here in the state of Mississippi. Without agriculture, without our farmers, we don't have any food. We don't have anything to eat. We don't have any clothes on our back. We don't have a roof over our head. So we always try to highlight the importance of agriculture, and especially in these times. I mean, farmers are facing some tough times right now. So you see a farmer, think a farmer. These are some of the most difficult days of agriculture in the history of America, as inflation is sky high, costs are down. The Biden-Harris administration has us in the worst trade deficit in history. So it's not a positive time for agriculture, but like I said, we'll persevere. Our farmers will persevere, get the job done, and we'll have food on the table for our country, for our people, and for a lot of the world too.
Commissioner, I don't think you can get any more farmer than saying I'm taking a load of lambs to the fair for the kids. So that was a good line. I don't think Wilton's going to bring a load of chickens to Tampa. So Wilton Simpson is our commissioner down here, but a load of lambs to the fair. That's great, sir. I love that.
I know Will. He's doing a great job. I tell you, it's great to have a partner like that in Florida. And as part of our National Association of State Departments of Agriculture, we get to compare notes from state to state. And you've got different issues than we've got here in Mississippi. You've got the citrus, and we don't have a lot of that in Mississippi. But we have a lot of the same common interest in terms of supporting agriculture as a whole, because at the end of the day, it is the most important industry that we have as a country, and as any state. In Mississippi, agriculture is the largest piece of the economy, and you look at our agriculture industry. Some people may be surprised that poultry is the largest industry in the state of Mississippi among ag products. We have a lot of chicken. I went to tour a chicken plant here in Carthage, Mississippi, not long ago. They're processing 2 million birds a week. And that's very common among the chicken plants in Mississippi. And let me tell you a secret. I asked the plant manager, where's all that chicken going? He said, 75% of it's going to Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
I said, what did y'all do before Chick-fil-A? He said, we thank God for Chick-fil-A every day. So I'm telling you, it's a big industry, and it's the backbone of our economy in Mississippi and a lot of other states as well.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it is a huge part of our economy in Florida. It gets forgot about because everybody thinks we're the tourist state, but there's a ton of agriculture out there. I know I touched on one thing, too, that we've done in the state of Florida that you really, really supported is school choice. I know we just did that in the state of Florida, and we're working the kinks out, but I hope to see Mississippi, and I know you support it, following up right behind it.
Not only do I support it, the people of Mississippi support it. I was in the legislature, in the House, like you are. I was in the House for 12 years, and we started the very early days of charter schools, and it was a very limited effort, and there's a whole lot more that can be done. I mean, there's so much more in terms of vouchers and other aspects of school choice. Homeschools now in Mississippi are the fastest growing component of schools in the state. I don't know if many people may realize that, and it may be true in other parts of the country too, but that after COVID, a lot of people said, we're going to go back to homeschooling our kids, and it just has caught on in a great way. And so there's opportunities there for homeschoolers. There's opportunities for charter schools, private schools. Kids don't need to be trapped in a failing school district like they have been for 100 years. Under Mississippi policy, they need to have the freedom to go. Their parents should have the freedom to go and make sure they go to the school that's right for them. And we're all paying for these schools ourselves. I'm paying taxes for our schools here in Mississippi, and I know that y'all are as well. So it makes perfect sense that we have the freedom of choice on this issue as we would as to where to go shop or where to go, buy insurance or where to go bank for that matter. There's nothing more important than the education of our children, and that's why I'm a big supporter of school choice, and I'm a product of public schools. I support public schools. We have a lot of great schools in Mississippi that are blue ribbon schools and doing a great job, and not knocking that work at all. And I'm a strong supporter of that. But also, in my family, we've had some of our children have been homeschooled because that was the right fit for them. Some have gone to a Christian school, a faith-based school, and so I know, having 4 kids myself, my wife and I do. We know that every child is unique, and every child learns differently, and they have different skills and gifts, God-given gifts. And so we need to make sure parents have the freedom. God gave children to us as parents. He didn't give them to the state of Mississippi or to the state of Florida. He gave parents our children, and it is our responsibility, and it should be our freedom of choice when it comes to education for their future. So I believe the legislature is going to pass some more reform on this. I know that I've heard the Speaker of the House of Mississippi, Jason White, who I served with for a few years. He's a supporter of this. Others in the House and Senate are, and I'm encouraged by the positive discussion on that front. And we can learn a lot from y'all in Florida, and I hope that we'll take those lessons and get them passed into law.
Absolutely, Andy. And one thing I want to say is, it's unfortunate. Like I come here to Jackson, I come to the state of Mississippi, and people don't realize how nice this state is, how nice the people are, and how much there. I mean, the food is amazing. I swear I gained like 10 pounds every time I come here. Food is great, but there's always that stigma that they have out there.
Right.
But I just want to say how nice this state is and the people, and it is really a lot. And I'd say, you guys you're doing a good job. But if you're coming out here, there's just a lot to do. I mean, there's food, there's music, there's soul, there's a lot.
We're proud of our state. We've come a long way. We're not a perfect state like no other state is, but we've come a
Hmm.
long way. As a matter of fact, if you look at some of the recent changes, the recent statistics, what you're going to find is that Mississippi has made more progress in terms of education in the last 10 years under Republican leadership than it ever has. You're also going to find that, and this is the best kept secret, your dollar goes further in Mississippi than it goes anywhere else in the United States. So we don't tell everybody that, Adam, but dollar will buy more in the state of Mississippi than anywhere else. And I visited recently out west, and it was brought home to me how very true that is. I mean, everything from land uh, to everything from land,
Groceries.
groceries, everything else, sky high out west. But in Mississippi, it's a lot more affordable, and we're grateful
Yeah.
for that. know, we're going to continue to improve our state. We are actually the most diverse state in America. Most people don't know that. We have more diversity among races in Mississippi than any other state, including California or New York. And we get along. We do. So we're thankful for that, and we hope to continue the positive trajectory. And
Absolutely.
speaking of that, I'm getting close to the fairgrounds, Adam. I'm almost here with my
All right.
Jeep.
Real quick here, Andy. My family owns a marina, and we do a boat show, boat podcast. Are you into boating at all, sir? What kind of boats do you like? Or do you do pontoons? Are you a deck boat kind of guy? You go down the coast, you go fishing. What's your deal?
Well, I've done all of it, Adam. I grew up fishing for brim and bass with my parents on the Mississippi River, the Oxbow Lakes along the Mississippi River, Lake Chotard, Eagle Lake, other lakes.
Okay.
And then later on, we got a 28-foot sea ray, and went out started fishing out in the Gulf of Mexico, 60 miles out, Freemason Island, Chandelier Island. So we love the Mississippi Gulf Coast, and I've done a little bit of all of it. But I have to say, I like all the boats. What we have is a little old polar craft bass boat right now.
Yeah.
But actually, we took it down to the Gulf. My brother did, and went fishing out in the shallow waters around the Gulf of Mexico there. So we love the boat. Maybe one day I can afford a really nice boat. I need to come see your marina down there and check things out.
Come on down, sir. Come on down. Hey, take care of those lambs. Thank you for all you do, sir. Thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate it. And I'll see you later today, sir.
See you, Adam.
God bless. Have a good day. So there you go. You have Andy Gipson there. He was taking lambs to the state fair. He's a great guy. We look forward to working with him over here at the state fair. Obviously, my family's in the carnival industry. We have food concessions. We do cinnamon rolls, and we've done it over 60 years in the industry. Close to 70 years now, actually. But it's a great business. It's turned into a kind of a side hustle for our family. The marina is the main business, but we do this about 3 weeks out of the year. And eventually I'm going to get Jake out there to sling some cinnamon rolls, buddy. If it gets tight, we might have to have that happen, man. You know, I mean, you kind of do look like a carny at times, man. So, you do have your teeth, but, you know.
Between you and me, I come from, it's in my background. It's there.
It's not surprising. That's that's why we get along. So
we refer to ourselves as the bad term, the G one. You know what I'm talking about?
No. Yeah,
don't say that.
Yeah, that's not a good one. Not a good one.
Nope.
But yeah, I mean, you can't get more. I'm taking a load of lambs.
I was just so engulfed in his accent. I miss it so much. I grew up. Well, I didn't grow up there, but I spent a lot of time in Northwest Alabama, and we used to go to Tupelo. We used to go to Tupelo to go to like shopping for Christmas and to get turkeys and stuff. The first 4-wheeler I ever bought in my life was in Mississippi. So, and he's right. I don't know if you know this, but Mississippi is the cheapest state in all 50 of them to live. I think Jackson, Mississippi specifically has the lowest cost of living in all of the United States of America.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I was talking to a realtor here. She's like, 1,800 square feet, 2,000, 3.2. If it's a little bit older, you can get it for like 200. New construction's like 350. You're like, huh? That's like 400.
Unheard of.
I was like, what?
It's a down
you can go
payment
here,
over
and it's crazy. You can buy a mansion. You can buy a mansion for, $6. Like I pick up the real estate book here and just look. You're just like, wow, it's different. And that's why you see like there's a huge Nissan plant north of here that is up and running. There's a bunch of stuff moving to the south. Again, like even with the unions, he says, hey, Mississippi people went into work because they know, and that's a good time. But he did a good job at the thing, and he has an old soul. He's only like I think late 40s. He's maybe 7-8 years older than me. But he has that old. He's a Baptist preacher, so he's got that.
Yeah, he
twang
reminds
to him
me of my
there.
grandpa. So he's got that grandpa energy for sure.
Yeah, that was good. But thanks for coming on, Commissioner. I appreciate it.
Wisdom, not age, by the way. Just so we're on the same
he's got.
page. I'm not calling him old.
Yeah.
I'm saying he's wise.
He's wise, absolutely. So, but no, I mean that's pretty good. So I'm glad he came on. We're gonna have some more guests next week. We're gonna probably have John King on from Fort Myers Beach, and he was an old disc jockey back in the day. That's the one that falls asleep every week that he always talks about. Jake, so we're gonna finally get him on the show. Hopefully he's awake today. We chatted there for a minute, but we had a little hiccup with the commissioner coming on. So I was like, yep, absolutely, we'll get it done right away. So, but folks, just thinking about, like, I was watching some TV, what's going on. I know our Rotary clubs are doing a lot for the people up in Treasure Island, Florida. They got 4 or 5 feet of water in there. They're going through what we did 2 years ago. But unfortunately, we had 8 to 10 feet. The people up in Perry, Florida, got wiped clean. I mean, that storm took a right at the very end there, went over Perry, didn't go over Tallahassee. But I'll tell you what, if it would have went over Tallahassee, my gosh, we would have been digging out for a long time. There's a lot of old trees there, a lot of stuff there. It's just not the best. But let's switch gears a little bit. Talk about what we got coming up here at Baywater, 18th, 19th, and 20th. We're gonna have an open house down at Baywater again. It's the beginning of season kickoff. It's gonna be 6 months free dues, $1,000 off to get into memberships. It's gonna save you a ton of money if you join. So if you're thinking about joining Baywater Boat Club, that's what we're on here for. We have over 65 boats in our club. We have rentals too. We have got a great selection of boats: pontoons, center consoles, deck boats, twin engines, any kind of boat you want. We have in a club. Where Andy was just talking about, well, I had this boat and that boat. At Baywater, we have a fleet of boats. And folks, with our club, we're a little bit different than other ones. We own everything: our land, our docks, our marina. So a membership at Baywater gives you unlimited access to all our boats. Gives you 3 reservations on the books at any one time. A reservation consists of a day from 8 to 5. So we're not like other clubs where they limit you to a half day on the weekends, or if you want to use a full day, you got to use 3 reservations. We don't do that. On average, our members use the boats anywhere from 18 to 24 times a season. Season from us is pretty much Valentine's Day. Starts picking up in October, but prime season Valentine's Day till Easter, and it kind of drops off in June 1st. So that's a lot of boating. 18 to 24 times over a 5 to 6 month period. That's a lot of boats. That's what's availability with the Baywater. That's the difference that we have. We've got stuff available for you all the time. You just call up, make a reservation, take the boats out, come back, walk away. Come see Larry, Anna, Leland, Julie, Susan at our marina. They're there this weekend. So if you're thinking about joining the club, want to come down and see what we got. And most of our members are pretty spoiled. They show up 10, 11 o'clock, take it till 2, 3 o'clock. And that's what's nice about the club. It's just an easy way to go out there and have some fun and enjoy yourself. At Baywater, too, it's a family membership, so it's a husband, wife, and kids. Wife or husband's primary. Secondaries are the wife or husband or the kids. Primary can take out any boat they want. Secondary can take anything out to 200 horsepower. So that's a lot of the deck boats, pontoons, center consoles. Can't take the twins out or anything like that. And also with our club, that's what I'm saying. It's like even if your parents aren't in town and the kids come down and they want to use the boats, not a problem. That's easy. Easy peasy. So it works out well. With our club, you can keep the boats out overnight, multiple days. So if you have a dock, you can park it at your house. Or you want to watch the sunset, go down to Wiggins Pass, watch the sunset. You can do that at Baywater. That is the big thing. That's a big pullback from boat clubs. Like, oh, I have to be back by 5 o'clock. I don't like that. At Baywater, we don't have that problem. You just book the boats for 2 nights, 2 days, so that we have that boat ready to go. The next day for a member, if it's cleaned out, we don't have to worry about that. We can get it cleaned up and ready to go for the next day. So it's a good way to go. Give us a call, 239-495-0455. That's 239-495-0455. Or you can look us up online at bwboatclub.com. Jake is making fun of me as I'm sitting here looking at him. Jake, it's great to see your face. I'm glad we're going to have this podcast out there. We're going to put it on there. Jake has already agreed. It's going up on the website.
It's going up.
Good to go.
It's going up.
It was a quick negotiation right before we aired.
Yeah, and I didn't even make my bed. I had to pause the camera when we got the commissioner on and made my bed real quick because it's like I don't have my green screen up or nothing. Nothing fancy today. So
we tangled the carrot. Jake's jumped on. Jake, thank you very much, buddy. It's always good to be on there. So of all the guests, I know you're not going to say anything, but of all the guest hosts you've had on the 92.5, what's some of the craziest stuff you had? Like, have you had to mute people's mics, hit the cough button a couple times, dump button?
Yeah.
What's been going on?
I've had to hide
Spencer Roach he gets called. Like, I like Spencer. He's a fellow colleague, legislature. He's done now. I listened to him a little bit. He did a good job. Mike Opelka, he's a good guy. I came on right after the storm. Thanks for you calling me. You're like, yo, get on the phone right now. I need you to kind of see what's going on.
Well, it was just one of those things. I've had a lot of people filling in that are not local, and when you have a storm roll through like that, like with Ian, we didn't have the opportunity to immediately go on the air. We were off the air for about a week. The studio did get flooded out again, just so everyone's aware. We did have water. I was sitting in a puddle the day after, just to be sure. Like, I had to take the Jeep because I couldn't get, the streets were blocked off. The police had everything roped off and weren't allowing people to get through. And I seen Boss Man, Jim Swartzel, he's the owner. He drove his truck through, and I'm like, if he can get through, I can get through. So we hightailed it in there together, man. We knocked it out. It was is the best show we could possibly do for what we had. Like I said, Mike's a great co-host, or he's a great host. He's just not local. He's not, he doesn't have the infrastructure. He doesn't have the experience of eating SpaghettiOs out of a can. And that's nothing against him, but it's a lot of we're seeing that a lot right now in the Carolinas and in Georgia. These people they don't have the infrastructure for a hurricane like we do. Like, we bounced back pretty quick after Ian. I know it was devastating, but man, we came back strong. It's not the same in the Carolinas and Georgia. It's going to be a while.
This is a 1,000-year or 10,000-year. I mean, it happens, right? You've heard of this. I heard of mudslides and stuff like that.
Right.
Like, you hear about that in China all the time. But this is bad. This is really bad up there. They got 30 inches of rain. It's in the mountains are like a rainforest. That just sits there and just dumps, and just you see the videos of just houses getting washed away. You're like, whoa. Or I've seen a lady out there with a mirror flagging down a helicopter, which was good on her. I mean, she's out there with this full-length mirror trying to flash this helicopter, but they got some animal food for the animals, some insulin and stuff like that. But it's a big problem. I know the Florida Guard is up there helping out, National Guard. You see this with FEMA, that they are going to run out of money. They can't even make it through hurricane season, Jake.
You know
you
why,
see that?
right?
Oh, yeah, I heard it because they're putting how many people up in New York in hotels?
Let me break this down for you real quick, bud. Okay.
Yeah, let's hear it.
$2 billion FEMA budget this year. Okay, that's what was agreed upon in the spending bill. Okay, 680 of that has been spent on illegal immigration. $680 million has been spent. Okay, that's almost half the budget. And then you have Fed come out and say, hey, we don't have enough money. We don't have enough money to get us through this season. So, and, maybe instead of taking funds out of the Federal Emergency Management Fund to fund illegal immigration, housing people, like I seen, we talked about it recently. I seen somebody who had one of those EBT cards that had $10,000 on it. You're not a citizen, but you have $10,000 to spend on food. And I know some people who have full-time jobs that still go to food banks. Yeah. Okay? It's a huge problem right now. The spending in this administration it's crazy. Okay? And
it's
then
horrible.
They're forging numbers to make it seem like less people are coming in over the border when in reality they're flying them in. And that money that they're using to fly them in is the money that came from FEMA.
Oh, yeah.
$680 million out of $2 million. If you have $2, right? You have $2. That's 68 cents. That leaves you with $1.32? That's not much. So,
yeah. I mean, they're buying out whole hotels and just housing these people in there. And I'm saying not all of them are bad. There's no way they're not all bad. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of good Americans in there eventually. But what why do we have to have it? Why are we just letting them in and putting them up in these? I don't get it.
And
I don't get it.
And they treat it like it costs nothing. Like it's not going to affect us. Like it doesn't change our day-to-day lives. Look at the cost of eggs, man.
They have no concept of money. That's what happens in politics is they get up in this realm. And, I was getting a stock delivery here, and, it's a guy I've known for a long time. He's from New Orleans. He went to Paris for the Olympics. His brother works for the Fed and all that. And we were just talking, like, hey, what are you thinking? And he goes, you know what? When eggs cost $5 a dozen, I got a problem. That's what's going to make my vote. And, he's like, if it's, with Biden and Harris, $5 a dozen, that's making my vote. I'm going to vote for the other guy. And that's where it is. I mean, people are going to vote with their wallet. I mean, I'm not 100% sure it's a slam dunk. So we just need to keep everybody out there moving and make sure that we get Trump in the office of the White House. I mean, we need to get him back in there because this is ridiculous. It's insane. There's no way we would have all these conflicts if Trump was in office. It's just a different mindset. There's no way we'd be running out of money. Yeah, I know Congress can appropriate more money to him, but $680,000, $680 million spent on hotels and airfare to be flying these people around and put them in. I don't understand it. It's upsetting. It pisses me off. There's so many other things we could be doing with that. I don't know. It's down the rabbit hole, Jake, down the rabbit hole.
And as we're all immigrants here, okay, that we don't shy away from that around here. And the idea that someone gets to come in unscathed, not going through the actual process, not actually passing citizen tests. You can hop on an app. I seen it the other day on Twitter. You can hop on old Kamala's app, Comrade Harris, and just type in some fake names, set up a time, and boy, look at that. You got all the benefits you need. And it's sad because it's not just illegals. You probably have scammers who are hopping on there and doing the same thing and collecting these benefits. So, and, whenever you get a preloaded cell phone with the app at the border, plus you get your little debit card or whatever it is that you're getting, and, like you said, I'm spending $5, $6 on a dozen of eggs, man. Like, I go through a dozen of eggs myself in a week.
Yeah.
And I've had to cut back on all kinds of stuff extensively. Which I'm not complaining. Like, it is what it is. I don't mind. Like, I've been poor my whole life, and I'm good at it. But the idea that I've busted my tail for the last 10 years doing this and have built a little baby career from it. I pay my bills and stuff, but at the same time, there is no disposable income. And you guys know I got car issues. I got all kinds of issues. And these things, they all add up pretty quick. They all add up pretty quick. And I don't have no kids, man. If I had some kids, I'd be screwed. I would be screwed.
Absolutely. I remember, Jake, one time you said it was funny. We were at the marina. Probably inappropriate, but there's a girl working there for me, and she can't even sit next to me. She'll end up pregnant.
That's what. Well,
that was a funny line. That was funny. I mean,
that's just my luck. That was me just talking about my luck. My luck isn't good, man. Like Mr. Moody actually gave me this, and since we got the camera, I can show it. Mr. Moody, it's our general sales manager. He went to Ireland.
Good guy.
Ireland a couple years ago, and he gave me this. It's a lucky poker chip thing. It's worthless. It's worth like $2. It was like one of those gift shop kind of things. But I'm so superstitious. I carry this thing with me on a day-to-day basis. Just like I'm trying to harvest some luck here because mine isn't so good.
No, you're pretty lucky though, Jake. You are. I mean, when it comes to show, you do a great job.
Thanks,
sir. You got Bella. You got a little bit of water. You guys, you weren't on top.
Yeah, man, we were solid. I did have to take the cars. I took the cars up the street just to be safe. Smart. They would have got flooded out. The Jeeps, they're built for water, so it was fine. And I actually got to use it for what I bought it for.
Yeah, you gotta get that, so that's fine. Oh man, it's good. As you can see, I'm in this little hotel room. Not a little. It's a nice place. If you come to Jackson, Mississippi, check out this hotel. Not many people are going to come here, but the Old Capitol Inn, pretty cool. They got a bunch of stuff. You can see Rebel with the Cause, Mississippi Rebels here, Ole Miss. I think the lady who owns this place went to Ole Miss. Beautiful, but it's got a bunch of newspaper articles talking about 1,500 guards in Ole Miss. So I guess this is probably back in the 60s, like we were talking about earlier with the commissioner. But it's an interesting town. It's a great town. I enjoy it. You just got to be careful, be smart when you're walking around. This is not a town you walk around at night, in certain areas. It's pretty bad. The outskirts are a little bit better, but, I think they got a long ways to come, and it's good. We always look forward to coming here. Like I said, the food's amazing. So, folks, as we remember, just to reiterate, we got an open house coming up at Baywater Boat Club, 18th, 19th, and 20th. I think it's 20th, so it's 17th, 18th, 19th is when the open house is coming up. So it'll be next 2 weekends from now, from this date. So come by.
Friday? Is that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or Thursday, Friday, and Saturday?
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
So that'll be the 18th, the 19th, and the 20th.
Okay, that's all right. There we go. That's what making sense. So, okay, thank you, Jake.
You're welcome.
But no, so make sure you guys stop by. We'll be out there every day from 8 to 5. We'll have lunch from our favorite food truck there. Come on out, see what we got, see what's going on. Just see how the Baywater difference is, what's going on there. The cheaper way to buy a boat. I know everybody's a little nervous, everybody's cautious about the election, but this is a cheap way to go. You can join a boat club for $7,900 to get in, so $7,900 to get into the club. $999. That weekend it's going to be $69.99 and no dues for 6 months, so it's going to save you a ton of money. Normal dues are $425 a month, so you're talking. You're going to save three grand that weekend. That's at Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it's a great way to go to get into the club. Easy way to get out there. Fun. Take it easy. Come out on the water. Enjoy yourself. People are coming back down. They want to get out there. If you're tired of that boat that you bought during COVID and you're tired of it breaking down and not having issues, come join the boat club. Folks, when you go out there on the water, you see it all the time. You go out there on the water, you see all these beautiful houses, and you see empty boat lifts. Because they know they bought the house, they bought the boat, and it sits on that lift. And like, you know what? We're not doing it anymore. We're done. We're over. So it's just the easy way to go. We've got a ton of members that have property on the water. They still join the boat club because it's just a cheaper way to go. This is going to be less than the depreciation is if you buy a boat. We do have daily rentals too. It's a different fleet of boats. So if you want to come out, we have pontoons, deck boats also. Come on over and check us out there. Give us a call, 239-495-0455. Again, that's 239-495-0455. You can look us up online, bwboatclub.com. That's bwboatclub.com. Folks, thanks for tuning in. I'm sorry we were off the last couple of weeks. We had a hurricane and a couple other things going on. But we'll be here next week and the week after like that. And come on out, have some lunch. Come see us at Baywater. During our open house. We need new members. We need to keep it going. We got a great staff out there. We were supposed to take a couple of days to clean everything up. Folks, we had an inch of water in our office, but we had a great staff over there. Got it done. We were open a day later. So our members definitely have a good time there. Looks like this week's going to be a little wet. We've got a little tropical juice out there. I know you've seen that, Jake. Looks like we're going to have a lot of rain. I know Zach has been talking about it. I've been seeing his post on there, and I like it. He keeps it up there. Like, I like Mike's weather page. I know he's not a meteorologist, but he's usually pretty good, pretty spot on. And I know people, we want everything now. That's just the day and age.
Yes,
we
sir.
want it right now. So we want the constant update, the new information. Everybody wants the information, make their own decision. I like it that he shares stuff. He's always putting stuff out there. It makes our decisions easier. I'm looking at what's going on there. Hopefully we just got some rain. I don't want to be moving. I told my dad, hey, I could, put you on a plane to come up here to Mississippi and work, and I'll move boats. He's like, no, I'm good. I'm done with that business. It's like, I'm not coming up there. I'll move the boats. I'm like, oh, okay, Dad. Thanks, Omar. And hey, folks, he's retired, but he comes over to the marina. He's there Mondays and Fridays. So if you want to see the old Cuban running around yelling at people, he's out there doing it. So come on over and see us. So
He can't be too retired if he's showing up.
yeah, he wants to. Mom's like, hey, he's got to work a couple days a week, right? So it's
Yeah, I mean, it's probably good for him. Get some exercise and stuff.
Got to keep moving. So he's trying to. He's got his little dog Stella, the small Chihuahua that's like a tick. Got her on a diet. She's swimming in a pool, so losing weight. So we're doing good. So, folks, thank you very much for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll see you next week. Thanks to Andy Gipson, Commissioner for Mississippi, coming on of Agriculture. Baywater Exclusive Boat Club, the exclusive club of Southwest Florida.